And welcome, folks, to episode 50 of the Ministry of Dice podcast. We're a UK-based podcast talking about all things Dice Masters in the United Kingdom. I'm Chris, otherwise known online as True Mr. Six, and with me today I have Andy.
Riggs to your myrtle. I've seen that one.
I'm getting too old for this.
Oh, beep.
Beep. Yeah, I couldn't not. That's the classic, isn't it?
Let me get my saxophone out.
Little known fact for the listeners there. You know that Shane Black wrote the script for the Lethal Weapon movies? 1 and 2. Who's Shane Black? So have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Is that the one with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson?
No. You're thinking of The Long Kiss Goodnight.
I am.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it was like Robert Downey Jr.'s sort of return to fame. It was his sort of first movie role after drug rehab.
Oh, okay. No, not seen it.
No, all right. Well, fair enough. Well, Shane Black he's a famous kind of Hollywood action movie writer. I'm surprised you don't know him because he wrote all the faves.
All the faves.
Oh, do you know what? I'm just looking on his IMDb. You'll never guess what. He wrote The Long Kiss Goodnight as well.
Oh, did he? I know that one. It's got Gina Davis in it and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, you seen the new Shaft film that's on Netflix?
No, I haven't. I booted up Netflix the other day and saw the trailer for it, but I watched the trailer and was a bit like, really?
It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's good. It's worth a look at.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a checking out. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So I'm Myrtle then, am I?
Yeah, you've got the tash.
I've got the tash. Yeah, but I've also got the hair.
Yeah, but I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'm mad for it.
I'm quite happy. If you want to be the pair of us that's compared to Mel Gibson, you go ahead.
Swiftly moving on from that one.
Indeed. How are you doing, my man?
Oh, very good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I was just the listeners don't know this, but I was just explaining to Andy before the call. I'm knackered.
He is. He's trying to build up steam.
Yeah, I'm very, very low on energy tonight. Very low on energy. Work is running me ragged. But episode 50, we're just one episode away now.
One episode.
From the 2-year anniversary special.
The cracker.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Like 1 year's paper, 2 years?
2 years cracker.
Yeah, like a Jacobs or something.
It's a biscuit with cheese anniversary, dear.
Yes, here is a tuck with some camembert.
It's a tuck.
Yeah, can I interest you in a Ritz with some Lancashire?
Wow. Strange up north, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up what the second year anniversary is. But yeah, it was suggested to us the other day that we may in fact be the longest running Dice Masters podcast. I didn't go away and investigate further.
We should do that.
Yeah,
the reserve call went on for quite a while.
The double burst went on for a long while as well, didn't they?
It did.
Yeah, so I'll look into that. But it was suggested to us the other day. We'll take it anyway. Who's going to dispute it?
No one else around, is there?
Yeah, they're all long gone. So we'll take it. Why not?
There you go. The longest running podcast for Dice Masters, folks.
Mm-hmm. Some might say the kingpin of all the Dice Masters.
It's a bit early. We're moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah. So, 2-year anniversary special, folks. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks for that one. But while I bring up the 2-year anniversary special, a quick reminder that we've already started some activity around that. We have both the birthday raffle, and we're asking for your input to help us out by answering a survey that's online. So if you could be the darlings that you are, and head on over to britroller6.com, scroll through the posts. I might pin them to the top or something. But scroll through the posts, you'll see the fundraising raffle with loads of great prizes in there, the least of which, and also proving to be the most popular, is the Ministry of Dice wooden spoon.
Well, you wouldn't expect anything different, really.
Well, I've got an alt art green Alex Ross green Goliath in there, but people seem more interested in the wooden spoon.
Well, I prefer the spoon.
No comment.
All right.
No comment. Yeah.
Anyway, so what's the survey for? You skipped over that.
Yeah, here we go. So it's for the MODPTA 9% on FT PS. The Ministry of Dice presents awards for their own podcast segments. Or did I put own podcast content?
Might be content.
MODP TFAPCQ
Q.
Z L.
Anyway, we'll have an award ceremony. It's a posh do.
Yeah. Put on your black tie or your nice frock.
And listen out in the next episode, 2 weeks' time. Get your vote in, because we need to do the editing.
Yes,
so if you're thinking about doing it, do it now.
We've got to get the nominees over to the accountants so that they can organise the shortlist and get it in front of the committee for the final decision.
Yeah. In fact, if you're listening now, press pause. Do it now. But before you do, go to the Brit Roller 6 website, go to the page with the survey, fill out the survey. We'll wait for you. Press pause now.
Go enter the raffle.
Oh, yeah, and the raffle.
And then come back and finish listening.
Cool. So we'll wait for you. Don't worry. We won't go anywhere.
Yeah, all very easy to do off your phone and stuff. How long should we give them?
Well, they'll be pausing, won't they? So we can probably just continue on.
Yeah, that's fine then. Well, we'll just... This is your pause moment.
There we go.
Welcome back. Yeah, so thanks for the input on the survey there and for entering the raffle. Our thanks to those who have already been and answered the questions for us and for those who have entered the raffle.
Anyway, we've arced on enough about that. Should we move on? What have you been up to? Let's go you first. What have you been up to these last couple of weeks?
What have I been up to?
What have you been up to?
That's a great question.
Have I flummoxed you by letting you go first?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what we did at Element Games last week, but I'm having a total blank. I did quite well though.
You did that janky combo thing.
The janky combo. Oh
That's
yeah.
The one that you kept texting me about. Oh, I've done this. I did 8
yes,
damage.
I did.
Turn 2.
Yes, I did. You're right. Although I can't remember what the theme was that ended up. Anyway, yeah, domino. It doesn't work. I was cheating.
Oh well.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So what I'll explain for the benefit of the listeners. So I had the energized domino that does damage when she rolls, and I was playing Duncan. Hi, Duncan.
Hello.
And I was very close to hitting Duncan for, I think it was 7 or 8 damage in turn 2 with the domino. So I brought her up in turn 1 and fielded a sidekick. And then in turn 2, I had Counter Strike. Is it Counter Strike?
Yeah, the basic action prep dies now.
Yeah.
Or sidekick from used or something.
Yeah, from the new X-Men set. I had the new PXG, that's basically HXG. And I had Stretch. So Stretch lets you pay a fist to roll the dice. Counter Strike lets you prep a die, a single die for a generic energy, and the PXG for a mask lets you prep 2 sidekicks from your used pal as well. So I'd bought the domino, fielded a sidekick, so I had domino and 3 sidekicks. I then drew my next 4 dice and rolled them. And then PXG'd 2 of the sidekicks across, character striked 1 of the sidekicks across, and then stretched domino in and just started rolling her on turn 2.
Nice.
And put the last sidekick into the used pal. And poor Duncan was just sat there watching me in turn 2 go roll my domino like double energy. double energy. I think it was 5 or 6. I forget. I like to embellish, so let's say 8 or 9. A damage, and then if I'd had an energy, I can't remember if I think I needed either an energy to field her because she'd rolled on a 1 fielding cost, or I think maybe Duncan had a sidekick. One or the other prevented me from just slamming her in the field and charging across. So I was quite pleased with that.
Yeah, but why was that cheating? That sounds pretty feasible to me.
Yeah, so that particular moment's fine, but then what I was doing later on was I was stretching and then counter-striking the dice that I'd stretched across.
Right.
And apparently, anything you're doing in your turn that involves moving dice to the use pile, they go to the transition zone first.
Right, unless you're swapping.
Yeah, sure, but the stretch says move, so I was just putting it straight into used, just like very literal interpretation of the card. Move the dice to the use pile, so I was doing that. So I was kind of moving stuff around. Then the one that I was dropping in used, I was counter striking it across.
There's a character dice.
No, I was doing it to get sidekicks into the use pile to use it.
Oh, okay.
So when my use pile was empty, I was stretching them out of my bag. Do you see what I mean? And putting the sidekick straight into use to jump it over. So, yeah, but you can't do that apparently. The one I'm moving after the stretch has to go into the transition zone, so it means there's not one there for me to counter-strike across.
Okay.
Yeah, very
cool though.
Yeah. So the domino maneuver, that was all solid. That was fine. But like through the course of the night, and then it was Paul who said to me, "Hang on, mate. I think there's a thing about because Cold Gun used to say move to used, and it doesn't. It goes to transition. You'd had like a memory from days gone by, and I went and checked it out. So move to used doesn't actually mean move to used.
Move to the transition zone and then on to used.
Yeah, I tell you what though, for a patented Chris rant for a minute. That stuff like that I find very frustrating. That kind of because that is to me the definition of like complex rules lawyering, because the game says card text supersedes anything in the manual, but then the manual has an assumption that you've read and understood the transition zone element. So you can't. It's like just something that should be possible to literally interpret. You can't literally interpret. I mean, the phrase "move this dice to your use pile" doesn't actually mean move the dice to the use pile. It should say move to the transition zone. But the argument then, of course, is well, it only goes to the transition zone when it's on your turn. And I'm just like, well, all this stuff creates a barrier of entry for new players.
Oh, this is getting deep quick, isn't it? I was just kind of listening to your games, but yeah, true story.
Yeah. So that type of stuff sometimes is a source of frustration for me because I'm just like, well, the card just says move it to used. I moved it to used. I've ended up doing an illegal move by just
doing what it says.
Doing what it says because there's a page in the rule book, which is dense enough already as it is with this kind of complex rules lawyery stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, don't you think?
It always just reminds me of, do you know the instructions you never read when you get it in like a box of paracetamol?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. You just pick it out and ditch it. It's like, if you've got a bad reaction, if your throat swells up or whatever else, that's
that's Tylenol for our non-UK listeners.
Is it? Why is it a different name?
Don't know.
Okay. Anyway, what else have you been up to other than cheating?
Not a great deal. Apex Season 2 started, as you well know. We've jumped onto that. We'll be starting the...
I think you're forgetting something.
You think I'm forgetting something?
Ooh, let's turn my phone on silent. What did we do on not last Saturday, the Saturday before, which should have been after we recorded, but before it was released?
What did we do Saturday? I don't know. What did we do?
Well, you come third in. Well, not third, but you came third in the... What did you end up in the semi-finals of?
Oh, Troy's faux Nats.
Yeah,
Has that been since we last recorded?
Yeah, we were about to do it. I think we recorded on the... anyway, yes. Let's not labour on that point. Yeah, we haven't talked about it yet.
Oh, here we go. Actually, it's just dawned on me where you're going with this. Go on then, get it all out. Get it done.
We're going to talk about the Saturday first. I thought the Saturday was cracking. It was just similar to the one big weekend format, as in it's all done in the day.
Yes.
And yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. Do you remember how many players there were in total?
No.
16 maybe?
There's quite a few of us. Oh, excuse the squeak. I'm sitting down.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, we did 3 rounds of Swiss.
4 rounds of Swiss.
4 rounds of Swiss with a top 4 cut. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
Jesus, I am clearly not with it.
You're not.
I'm all over the place. This bodes well for you for our live stream game later.
It does, doesn't it?
Can't even string sentences. I can't even remember what was happening 2 weeks ago.
Dear, oh dear. So, yes, we played on the faux Nats. I'm going to take over because you're struggling, which was a couple of Saturdays ago, 3 Saturdays as you listen to this, if you listen as it comes out, which was a cracking day set up by Troy. 16 or so of us. We played 4 games, and myself and Chris ended up, Chris ended up 3rd, and I ended up 4th.
No.
And the top 4 cut.
No, that's not right.
What's not right?
I thought we played off for 3rd and 4th.
the top 4 cut. So it was Ben was first, then James, then me, then you.
Yes, that makes me 4th.
In the league, when it finished the league, then we played.
Okay, carry on.
Dear.
As you were.
So and then it went to the semi-finals. It was quite cool. There wasn't anyone else near us, was there, Laurier? Me and Chris were way ahead of the pack. Everyone else dropped to the wayside with our fantastic victories. So I played Ben in the semi-finals. He's well annoying.
Yeah, he gave me a good beating as well.
He beat me in both the Swiss rounds and in the best of 3 semi-final. That took me out. You played James, which was a lot closer affair, but he did pip you to the post, although he was knackered and you were a bit drunk. So some misplays, I think, that you will see if you want to go back and watch that video, which is on James and Zach Play Dice Masters on the YouTubes. Which then took us to last weekend as we record this, and at some point in the past, if you're listening to this at some point in the future, where we played off for 3rd and 4th spot. Again, that was a relatively close affair, but a mixture of high-end, top-quality piloting by myself and some very bad action rolling by you caused me to win.
Yeah, man. Well, as you well know, I was very, very salty about my orange action dice. Very salty about them. In fact, I'm looking at the table now, set up for our next game. I'm like, oh, man, I've put the same bloody action dice out.
Yeah, leave them there.
Yeah, sure. Although it's not a very action-focused build, this one. Yeah, they were good matches until I started getting aggravated in the 3rd game. Yeah, I went full on like sea salt job with these bloody dice.
But it was good. It was close. It could have gone either way, to be fair. Just went the better way in the end.
Yeah. Here we go. He's had a little taste of former glories.
I see it very much like
it's all coming out of him now.
Pro athlete who's maybe like taking a year off for personal reasons, and then it's just making his way back slowly but surely through the ranks to yet again become a champion of his chosen art form.
Well, okay, time will tell.
Well, will it? That's the thing.
Well, yeah, we may or may not get a nationals. Let's see what on earth is going on there.
I'm waiting for a Canada nationals. It's tomorrow. Come if you can.
Oh yeah, that will be frustrating if that happens.
It will, mate. You are really not very talkative tonight, are you?
No, I'm tuned out, and now I have a 8-year-old girl who's appeared at the doorway holding her stomach. Uh-oh. Sit down for a sec. Let me finish this segment with Andy, and then we'll have a chat. Kids, man, who'd have them?
Who'd have them? So what else have you been up to?
That's about it.
Yeah?
I think, yeah. Oh, we played, me and the competitive wife played a little bit of Azul and a little bit of the Nefarious, the scientist one, on Saturday night.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. I obviously played those games with you. I also played a few games of Dreadball, which is a Mantic miniatures game made by Mantic.
Yeah, I know that
which
one, yeah.
is like it's a little bit like Speedball, the old computer game. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before in the intro.
Yes.
But played a few games of that. Really liked it. Won one, lost one, which was quite cool because I'd not played it before, which was nice. Had a few bros round to the yard to play some board games.
That's what the kids do nowadays.
In it. So that was good. Cool. After that, what have we got on the episode today?
What have we got on the episode today? So we are revisiting the Unsung Heroes segment. I don't think we've done one of these for a long while now, actually.
For ages.
Yeah. So that we're going to talk about a couple of cards that we think are overlooked, have got the potential to make an impact on certain teams. And then we have our next guest on the Ministry of Dice's The Bar today. Yeah.
How exciting. Who have we got left? Have we been through every Dice Masters player in the world?
No, certainly not.
All 9 of us.
Yeah, certainly not. Although apparently the game is dead again.
Oh, I saw that, yeah. Dead game, yeah. We're all doomed.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, there he is. He's cracking one open. All right, well, we'll wrap this up and move on to the next segment, and I'll go find out what Mini Miss 6 has got going on.
Hope she doesn't vomit some tomato soup and mangoes.
Yes, welcome back, folks. And, squeaky chair. Ooh, squeaky.
I squoked it by accident. I squoked it by accident. I thought I would make
it
an event.
Are you having a squanch? Somebody will get that joke. Somebody out there.
That went over my head.
Yeah, okay. Somebody out there will get it. It's a message and explain it to Andy. The Unsung Heroes. We're returning to Unsung Heroes. Do we have a theme song for Unsung Heroes? I don't think we might do.
Now you said that.
I'll have a look.
We might do by Monday.
All right, okay. Well, we'll put it in now if we have.
I need a hero. I'm holding out for an unsung hero at the end of the night.
Right, there you go. So if you heard a theme song, we do have one. If you didn't, then we don't.
Andy fail.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed those few moments of silence. Yes, Unsung Heroes. So let's explain. What we like to do sometimes is have a look. So let's say you got a meta card or something that's really eye-catching. Loads of people playing with it, experimenting with it, giving it a go. What we like to do is go and have a look at the other 1 or 2 copies of that card from the same set and just check that there's not a little gem hidden away in there that might actually have a place on teams, or we've all been a bit bamboozled and our eyes have been caught by the shiny, that we might have missed something and going on that actually could prove beneficial for teams we're building and making. We kind of become a bit kind of focused too much on one of the set. And previous examples would include we did one of the other bards, if I remember rightly.
I think we did the protection-y one.
Yeah, that's right.
We did a few. We did Dark Empathy, didn't we? We talked about that.
Yes, yeah, the Street Dark Empathy, because everyone is obsessed with
Sonic Beam.
Yeah. Blech. Worst card in the game. So yeah, we've been away. We've had a look and dug out a couple of Unsung Heroes. And I will actually at this point say thank you to 2 of my local players, Mike Ryder and Paul Fullwood. Hello, guys, because they kind of put this back in my mind with a card that they've both been using a little bit recently. That made me go, ooh, Unsung Hero.
That's pretty much what we're going to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got a card each. Would you like to go first, or shall
I? I'll go first.
Okie dokie then, mate. Well, share with us your Unsung Hero.
So my Unsung Hero is one that you told me earlier is one that Mr. Ryder uses quite frequently, and is the Collector, but not the Collector Tanlir Tivan.
No.
But Collector, the Power Primordial.
Oof. And what does he do, please, Andrew?
Did I pronounce that right?
Power Primordial, yeah.
Oh, cool. Go me. So 6 cost, it's more expensive than the Collector. He's a mask, he's a villain, he is max 4 dice, and his ability reads, when fielded, you and target opponent each select one of your unpurchased dice. Choose one and place the selected die in your used pile. Remove the other die from the game. I won't bother with the stats because we all know them, really.
Yeah.
So, So obviously we're going for the one where you can collector in stuff for 2 cheaper because it's proper strong. Arj proved that at
National Championship team
very recently. But this one, crikey, Riley. So I would admit that I hadn't really looked at it until and we discussed it earlier on. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll pick my big fat Grodd or my Thanos.
Yeah.
You can pick something.
Well,
I'll then put Thanos in the reserve pool. If you pick something that is half decent, I could rob that instead.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I know you said before, it's a little bit more expensive at the 6, but you are in essence getting 2 dice for the price of 1.
Yeah,
which is lovely. So Mike, I think it might have been, it first kind of hit my radar. I think Mike was using it at the One Big Weekend live that we had at Fanboy 3 in Manchester. And I actually admittedly glanced at his team and just, collector team, and didn't notice that it was the other one. And he was playing it with, this is going to bug the hell out of me now. One of the big orc war machines.
Stomper.
Stomper, that's right. He was playing it with Stomper, which I think is a 8 or 9 cost.
It's a 9, I think.
Yeah, so he was ramping up to the 6 for the collector, fielding the collector, and then selecting his 9 cost Stomper. I was then, obviously just choosing some builds that I felt I could afford to lose the dice on, and he was getting his Stomper in the use pile for basically free.
That's amazing.
It's
really good.
Mental, yeah, mental strong. Now, and ramping up to 6 is not that much of a challenge.
No, it's not horrific, is it? And I suppose if you've got a KO mechanic in there, KO him, do it again.
Yeah. And it puts those. Well, you could double up on a 6 cost, or it puts the 7, 8, and 9s in the mix a little bit more easily, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and the fact that you're making your opponent lose a dice and place it out of play is beneficial. I mean, sure, your opponent will pick something that they feel they can afford to lose, but like you say, if you're able to refield him or repeat the effect, then it's just applying pressure.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I'm gonna have to have a tinker about with that, see what I can come up with. Because if you get what's got a KO mechanic, like Gazgul Thraka has, doesn't he? Mm. So potentially you could use Collector to get him, so you don't have to ramp up to the 6 again, and then he's in the field. What you do is you place the selected die in your use pile. Yeah. Okay, so he's got to come through, but if you do that early, you field him, then you could do res or the other, things like throw brick or whatever, start churney, whatever mechanics you got there to try and push it through quicker.
Yeah.
Mimic, for example, field a sidekick and then you got it next turn.
What's the basic action you've been using lately?
Power Almighty.
No, the one that. Well, yes, you have been using that one lately, but the one that grabs dice out of the use pile.
Oh yeah, the misdirection.
Yeah.
Baby Polymorph.
Unless you're supposed to put that dice in the transition until the end of your turn, of course.
Let's not start that again. Let it go. Let it go. Put it in the transition zone anymore. Or I should say use pile. So very cool. I'm sure there's lots of different connotations and another word for connotations? Permutations that you can put together with that. If not, just keep fielding the bugger. Get it nice and early. Ping it off every turn. Throw it out there, and just let your flipping opponent lose all his dice.
Yeah, and not have to pay for any of your own dice anymore.
Yeah. Could you potentially just use it on a collector for the first few turns, and then just be fielding loads? You could, couldn't you? You could pick another dice. You can rack up 4 on collector, get the first one, put the next one in used. And then just constantly cycle a load of collectors around so that you're just doing it constantly until you run out of dice.
That'd be crazy. Does it say other dice or does it just say a die?
One of your unpurchased dice.
Right, yeah. So I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. So just load up on them. So a Ring of Winter, Tree Captain.
It's going to put the pressure on, isn't it? Just to purchase your Wincon before it runs out.
Yeah. And, there's lots of cards that people just... I mean, I know how to do it. They just play with 2 dice on it.
Yeah, the thing is, with the other collector, I started putting 1 dice on things that I need.
Yes.
So, Shriek, my Nats team last year, I ended up only putting 1 Shriek on the card because of you, mostly. Because it kept getting nicked. So cool. There we go. Well done, Michael Ryder.
Yes.
I'm not going to take the credit for it because he's the one that has used it. So
put it on
good
our
work,
radar.
mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Mike has been using my choice as well a little bit, but it was Paul playing it the other night that, as I say before, made me go, oh yeah, there's an unsung hero. So I'd like to talk about the Kree Soldier Stagnant Evolution.
It's a horrible name for a card, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I might put it on the next 30 euphemisms list. But this is a 2-cost fist, and his game text reads: while Kree Soldier is active, your character dice with purchase cost of 3 or less are free to field.
It seems so simple.
Yeah, it almost oh yeah, no, I don't need that. But in this day and age, there is quite a high volume of 2 and 3 cost meta cards that have really painful fielding costs, especially at their level 3. I can immediately think of, I play Boom Boom a lot. She has 2 fielding cost at a level 3. She's a sub 3 purchase cost card. Jubilee has 2 purchase cost fielding cost at a top end.
Grey Hunter.
Yeah, Grey Hunter, another great example. The Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
2 fielding cost at the top end, and these are all just 2 costs. I'm not even expanded into thinking about fielding costs for 3 purchase costs. But at his cost of 2 in his own right, he's just a little bit more beneficial. You know, people have used Nick Fury in the past for Avengers teams, Commissioner Gordon for non-villains lists. X-Men have used the promo Wolverine, Xavier's School to discount their fielding costs. But all those guys are 4 to purchase. Yeah. Now, admittedly, you get their benefit on the 4 plus purchase dice, but I can just see it speeding things up for you. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Plus, if you're not having to pay for the weenies to field, hopefully you'd have enough energy left over to get that purchase a bit quicker. Have that left over to pay the extra for your 3 fielding cost Thanos.
Well, yeah, I mean, my most immediate thought is, like a Wong Parasite build with Insect Plague Global. That's one that springs to mind immediately. Wong has, is it purchase cost of 1? Fielding cost of 1, sorry.
Fielding cost is something like 001 or 011.
011, and then Parasite is, I'm pretty sure he's 112. So get your Kree soldier in your first turn. Do your shenanigans to get him prepped over. Do your prep global at the end of the second turn. In the second turn, buy your Wong, buy your Parasite. Turn 3, the Kree soldiers hitting the field, ready to go. Turn 4, you're rolling your Wong and your Parasite, and you're fielding them for free.
Very cool.
Yeah, just speeds everything up, and then of course you've got that surplus in energy just sat there waiting to use, to pay for your Insect Play Global. Or
buy more
Wongs or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. So I just think in the meta right now, there's a lot of low purchase but high fielding cost meta cards that are, not just, they're win conditions. They're not just utility cards. They're win conditions, but with those painful fielding costs, and he mitigates that entirely. Just think back to when you used to play your Grey Hunter Staff of the Forgotten One list.
Yeah. There, when he rolled on the top face, it was good that he got the high attack, but bad because it's 2.
And you were planning on KOing him.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of when you might want to use something like that Kree soldier is when you're using a 2 cost dice with a high fielding cost, but it's a dice you're planning on KOing or sacrificing in some way or throwing down the field and refielding repeatedly. Yeah.
No, they're good.
Orc knobs. I can just think of tons that would really, really benefit from having that fielding cost pain taken out of the equation.
Yeah. Good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Manchester lot got an eye out for a good card.
Yeah, well, we're a janky crowd. I don't know what to tell you. So there you go, folks. A couple of unsung heroes. Let us know if you've got an idea of a great card to pair up with the collector that you think would be a good synergy there. Perhaps you can think of some other 2 or 3 cost cards that you'd want to eliminate the fielding cost on that would be a good combo with the Kree soldier. Let us know in the comments. Go to Facebook, go to thebritroller6.com, blah, 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 blah. Also, if you've got any ideas building teams around those 2 cards, we're always on the lookout for teams to give a play on our Wednesday night live streams on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why not have a crack at building a collector team with the 6 cost collector and fire it over to us and let us know which one of us you want to play it, and we'll build it and get it out on the map.
Yeah, good idea. Nice little segue into that as well.
Yeah, Oh yeah, I may be off my game, but I'm still on my game. You know what I'm saying? When I'm on my game, no. When I'm off, well, there you go. That just illustrated entirely, didn't it? Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
On to the next segment.
Yeah, on to the next segment. This is a good one, this one now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the bar.
Oh, I like the bar.
Yes, hello folks, welcome back, and once again, it's just the Ministry of Dice is just a little wrapped up bundle of joy every 2 weeks for you to open up. And have we got a present inside this bundle today? We've got Reg from Dice Masters in the Great White North, joining us today to have a quick interview and play the bar. Welcome, Reg.
Thanks for having me. Good to be on.
It is our pleasure, my man. It's absolutely our pleasure. So, Reg, we've corresponded a great deal over the social medias, and we spoke a little bit, I think, one time after, would it be the One Big Weekend Online?
I believe it was. We had a good chat with the group. It was
it
was a good weekend. It finished off the 6 games we played that day.
It did, yeah. And at that point, nobody was streaming, nobody was recording. That conversation just took place between the 7 or 8 of us that were there in that hangout.
Yes, that was recorded. That would have been
Well, I can remember it.
The only thing I remember from that was you had limoncello, or you were done with limoncello.
Everyone
was pretty much, everyone was on there. They were little goggly eyes.
Yeah.
And it was, but said it was a good weekend of dice. Just like what we had a couple weeks ago. We had last week, the faux nats. That was a good weekend of dice. Which you guys which you guys are, I guess, forecasting. You're doing your third 4 match.
That's right. Fun. Yeah. A little glimpse behind the curtain there because we're pre-recording.
I don't think we've ever played before before that weekend.
No, I think you're right. You played Andy, didn't you, last weekend?
That's right. I don't think I've ever played you, and I played Andy just last weekend. That was it.
Yeah, which is surprising, really, because we're always sort of around. I spend a lot of time on the lower end of the rankings. So if you want to play me,
usually.
Well, if you want to play me, you've got to drop a couple of games early.
That's right.
Come and meet me in the gutter tier. You know what I mean?
I remember the next tournament we'll do that, and then watch. That'll be the one you go 3-0 to start. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, that's the likelihood of that happening. Let's get real. The likelihood of that happening. I have my moments of glory, my little turns of luck, but I know my place in the world.
we have our one tournament out of 20 that we finish, and that's the one we always recall and we're fine with. Remember that one time I was in the finals, and
yeah. Remember that one time you were in the finals, Andy?
Yeah.
Well, it was a sunny day in Manchester. It was May the 5th, 2017.
Like I had one game, I had Ben down to 11 life. It was pretty damn good.
But I've beaten Ben a couple of times before.
Yeah,
I beat him in UK Nationals last year. Or was that in the qualifiers?
Do you remember the 8 card you had?
Yeah, what was I playing? So when you play, me and Ben played not a lot, but we certainly encountered each other frequently. And you have to take the little wins. Do you know what I mean? You have to take the little wins when you're playing Ben.
Right.
Do you know what? Actually, I do remember what it was. Ben, you'll be listening. Maybe remind me. But I think he had a Red Dragon team. The Red Eyes sidekicky one. And I was playing a Colossus Piotr Rasputin team. I think. But anyway, less about me and Ben and more about you, Reg.
Great.
So I'd be surprised if we've got any listeners that aren't already aware, but just in case they aren't, you have a YouTube channel.
We do. Me and Kim have, we started up, it was about 2 years ago now.
Sure.
And playing locally, I met Kim, found ourselves, 2 people playing in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we met up at our local shop, and there was 4 players. And we had an idea saying, hey, we should put some online content up. And that was when originally me and Kim, we came up with an affiliation tournament. And I know we don't have too many people watched it, but we basically made 16 different teams, all affiliated. And we put it in a bracket and did a tournament. And slowly but surely, we started getting a following. I'm not an editing guru like everyone else, so our videos are very poor, but there's still gameplay in it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So, and through that, we got into the community, starting to meet a few people. People confuse us with the DM North. But,
the other colonial channel.
On the other side of Canada. But I know one day we just rename it. We're just probably going to be Dice Masters in the Great North soon. We don't have to put the Kim and Reg. People should know it. But through that, we've gotten to know all the people in Canada and around the world. So it's been good. We are planning on doing another affiliation tournament. They are kind of slow, the games, when we play them, because we don't usually put a lot of the action dice, and we don't put super rares in. So it's kind of a slow moving game. And broken cards we kind of take out from certain sets. Like Serena wouldn't be on the Avengers team, just to make the games a little bit closer. And yeah, but other than that, we do a couple videos. We throw some stuff on DM North, and we usually record the WDA games we play or any other kind of tournaments we play. So, and like to say, we do a pretty good job for the community.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say something then that leapt into my head, but I think you brought it up. Yeah, because you've written some articles for the guys over at DM North occasionally, haven't you?
Yes, I know. I just had one this week put up, which showed up everybody posting their camera stands or mounts. Kind of a couple crafty videos I've done on how to build camera mounts. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you did a dice tray, didn't you, at one point?
That's right. Yeah, and that was inspired. I think James had a video where he probably paid a lot of money for the wooden tray, and I made one out of a piece of foam board. And I've seen the ones online where you have to cut the pieces, and it's like takes 3 years to build it. And I was like, you know what? Take a simple square and make a rectangle out of PVC foam, and you can do that. And I think it fits 700 dice in one campaign box. So all my stuff's in 4 boxes. You can't move it and transport it because it's kind of weak. But on the shelf, it's fine. I've done that. I've got I got some dice towers I've made, lots of other stuff. And I guess the big one too that people know is I make the tokens.
Yes.
And kind of everyone's like, oh, you're the token guy. And I'm like, yes. And just for anyone who's watching, anyone who wants tokens, they are free. I never charge for them. Just send me a note and I will send you off a pack of whatever tokens you want. Usually I did that. That was on the goodwill of, from the one big weekend when Arj did all his stuff for the community. I decided to give back and send them out. So as I said, it's kind of a good thing to give back. And it's nice to see gameplay when you see a token drop on the board. I'm like, hey, that's mine. That was kind of cool. It's something to give back. Yeah, and I mean, it's something to give back to the community. When people do so much for it, you want to do as much as you can. So
I keep meaning to. So I have a set myself, folks, and I've also got Andy's set right now, and they fit poker chips, don't they? That's the I
didn't ship the poker chips. I sent out the stickers. I've had 2 negative comments back, and that was people saying, "Why didn't I ship them the poker chips?" And which was ridiculous because it costs like way too much to ship from Canada. And it's like you go to any of your, rubbish stores, you can find poker chips in anywhere. And they're just plain stickers. And when you look at them, you're like, oh, I could have done that. I'm like, oh, go ahead. That's why they're free. So
yeah, dude, I won't worry about it. If that's all you're getting in terms of negative feedback, I'll share some of the instant messages and comments that I get sometimes, and that'll that'll make you feel a hell of a lot better.
I mean, lovely things said about me.
What?
I only get lovely things said about me.
That's because I filter them out before you.
Oh, thank you.
Before you see them, yeah. Because I know you're sensitive, soul.
Caring parent.
So, but other than that, instead we've got some other stuff in the tube for us. I mean, I also create a lot of the promo teams. I just make up some cards. I got some cool Black Order ones coming, and they get submitted onto the DM North page where I try to finish off when you get 4 Inhuman cards. So it's like, why do they only give us 4 Inhuman cards? I try to make the rest of the set, and those are all getting posted. Hopefully there'll be some more articles on that, but just something for people when they're playing it for fun. Making cards up is kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah. And I was looking at, is it Corvus? Did I see you posted Corvus? Yeah.
I don't know if it was Clave. I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So just giving loads into the community there, Reg.
That Black Order set them coming. It's got some cool cards, and I'm bringing back Rare Crow in it. Shriek is in it. There's a bunch. Like I've reprinted the abilities and stuff, and yeah. So there's some really neat globals, and I think we've test played it. It's got some really good abilities, and actually we're going to put it in our 2-team or the affiliation tournament when me and Kim do it. So just to see, so people can see how they play. Yeah, we try to do whatever we can for the community, but in the end, I mean, it's all based on everyone else has been so nice in the community. So all you can do is try to give back as much as you can. So,
it is a tremendous community. Although what I will say is that there is absolutely no reason to be reprinting Shriek. I don't know where that kind of mad decision came from. I think you and Kim need to go and have words with yourself.
I did bump it to a 4 cost, so which still doesn't make a difference. But
Yeah, no. No.
all right, I will burn that card. How's that? Well, there are 3 versions, so you can I'll send you a 29 card version instead of a 30 card version.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I would much rather though get rid of Green Devil Mask.
Oh, really?
All the blink transmutations. I would love to get rid of all those over Streak.
Yeah.
Streak I'm fine with, because if I have my Force Attacker, which is my favorite card, I'm happy with that. I just didn't like they put the Black Widow Force Attack on the same as the promo, like in the same Black Widow with the promo. So I don't really have a Force Attacker if I have to run that promo one.
Yeah, sure. You're not a fan of the force blocks, are you? Not force blocks, sorry, the distraction globals, Andy?
No, doesn't really suit the aggro attacking game, or half of the game.
Yeah. Whereas, if you like a good wombo combo that deals direct damage, then why wouldn't you put Blink Transmutation on your team? It's a perfect fit.
It is. It's on so many different cards now as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could put Static Field on. You could put Kate Bishop. Although, how you'd fit her in your team while you're running the common one, I don't know. But some people might make choices of that nature. Or in your golden, you got Blink, you got Distraction. Yeah, it's tremendous global. I think it's long may it rain.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
No, I don't think so either. Although, as we've said many times, I think the WWE set's going to pendulum swing and start affecting the direct damage game. I
have a conversation today with someone about the one character that's an 8/8. Can't remember her name.
Yeah, the redhead. Her subtitle is "I'm the Man." Is it?
Or something? Yeah. She's a 5 cost, and what is it? A 5/5/7/7/8/8.
Yeah, on 2 fielding costs as well at that 8/8.
Right.
With the Rip Hunter's shortboard global on her, no less.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's when fielded, you get to use a basic action if it rolls. You get to pick one, roll it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like that would easily be an 8 cost back in the day. So you look, if you have Kree Captain or that other wrestler that lowers stuff by 2, I think.
Zuka.
Yeah, so you have that with Kree, you can get it for 1, and it's just, I don't know, and you can rip it over, which just could be some crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be madness. I think I'm in for a miserable time when WWE turns up, and I think Andy's in for party time when it turns up.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the other cards, though, to see what, if they have her as an 8/8, what are they going to do with Andre the Giant and all the other big boys? I don't know how that's going to work, because typically that card should be a 7 or 8 cost. So I don't know how it's getting a 5, but they got something up their sleeves.
Well, time will tell. We've said that phrase before.
Yeah. Now, the WWE, does it come out before the Dungeon set?
Well, I don't know. I get confused with release dates, so I just wait until I get the email from my FLGS and respond accordingly. So yeah, I'm not really certain on that front.
I think the Dungeon set's going to be some interesting stuff. I think.
Yeah, they've not spoiled a great deal there yet, though, have they?
No, they haven't. I think they got a lot of stuff coming.
Historically, though, the Dungeons and Dragons stuff has always been strong.
Yeah,
we think of Battle for Pharaon and Pharaon Under Siege and Tomb of Annihilation. All of the cards there, you've got a pretty strong set when compared them to things like UXM and
UXM, yeah. So yeah. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man,
Deadpool. So yeah, be cool to see.
We talked for a long time about the MOPDMs and doing a D&D only one, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah.
The only reason we eliminated it was because we didn't want it to be a barrier for, if people didn't have big D&D collections or they were modern only players, so they jumped on when Tomb of Annihilation was big and didn't really have much of the previous 2 sets. We didn't want to end up kind of making it exclusionary that way. But if there was more of the cards around in the UK of the earlier D&D sets, we probably would have gone for it, because I think there's some stuff in there that just doesn't get explored enough.
Definitely.
So speaking of tournaments, organising your own tournaments, Reg, one thing you do is you organise online leagues.
That's right. The league I created about a month ago. Yeah, it was. So that idea came up, again, kind of based on how we do the affiliations, and we see everyone playing meta teams, and it's always the same 8 or 4 of the 8 cards you see on everyone's team playing. So I came up with an idea of this league. Number one, it's a team building where you have a teammate. So every week you get to play, picking your team with your partner who gets one card, because your two teams, they had to be unique. So you both couldn't have Shriek. You'd have to have a different version of it. You build two teams and you play against an opponent, kind of like a football match or a soccer match.
Yeah.
Where you rotate over the course of 6 weeks. You play every team twice. I also have it that you have a home and away team. So the way you played, if you're matched up against, let's say it was me and Kim against you and Andy, it would be, we could be the home team. We get to pick the campaign box.
Right.
You being the visitors, you then come back and pick we pick the team pack. So for that week, our match would have the sets available from the team pack and the campaign box. So we've had 4 weeks we've done now. And I don't think we've had one single mirror match where all 8 cards were the exact same. So it's been kind of neat to see. If you have a set like Justice, everyone's going to have Adam on it. Now that he's been nerfed a little, it's a little different. But so we had 2 teams both had Adam, and then they obviously won against the other teams. But the second match would be a Grodd team with the Superman Overcrush. And there were some interesting matches, because when you have 7 of the 8 cards might be the same, that one card made a big difference in the match. So we played. You play a round robin. So there's 4 matches in a given night, and then you get points for winning, points for going to time. They're only half-hour games, so they're actually pretty quick. You can get them done in an hour and a half for the night. And it's a round robin thing we've been playing. It's been good. I like to compare the format to, it's like opening up a campaign box and playing from that. So. And what we're finding is a lot of cards, we're going through our binders, and I'm pulling out 5 or 6 cards every week of stuff I've never played before. So when you play what's the set? The X-Men cards, like you're bringing out Kitty Pryde from X-Men First Class. Like, she was actually a great card in X-Men First Class. So in set, but if you play it in a meta set, you would never play her. So it's been a lot of fun to play. We've got 2 weeks left. We're going to playoffs, and I think we're all pretty close right now in the standings. And yeah, we're looking to expand it. For season 2, we're tweaking the rules and stuff. There has been some feedback, and we're looking at doing an East Coast in North America, a West Coast division, and even potentially a European division. So people want to play out in Europe. So we need someone to run it, and organize it. But it doesn't take much to do.
Andy will
say
do
that, but that's right. It's not that much.
We
have a spreadsheet. It's got stats. We do every game you play, you have to kind of say how much life did you have left. Did you go to turns? Who's the MVP? And kind of like a news clipping of what the match was, the big turn. And I kind of keep track of all that in a spreadsheet. So at the end, we have a MVP trophy we'll give out to the card that was the best, just for fun. And it's extra stats that are not needed, but why not, right? So, but yeah, I think people are enjoying it, and we only have 4 teams, and it's 8 players. You get your own little cool team name, I guess, when you play. So, I don't know if you guys saw the logos for those, or
we did, yeah. Well, I did. I'm generally the one that keeps plugged in.
Yeah. I think, but me and Josh Bodie, we're the Whiz Kids blank, so our logo is pretty simple. It's a blank circle. So.
Yeah. I think I watched one of your videos, and I might have even messaged you at the time, because I was like, what is that weird white circle in the corner of his playmat? What's going on there? And that, of course, was your team logo that you were.
That's right. The wonderful. Yeah. The blanks.
Yeah. So if somebody listening was like, oh, that sounds really interesting, I might like to get involved in season 2, where should they keep an eye out, and when should they keep an eye out?
Well, we have they give us a folder in the Discord channel for the Dice Masters Online. There's a whole folder there. People know how to reach out to me on Discord, but basically you ask someone in the community, they'll point you the right direction to me. I don't know when we're going to do season 2. It might be in the fall, because I know there's another couple tournaments going on probably at the end of the summer here. But yeah, just reach out to me. I'll get in touch with the right people. And if you are looking at heading the league, or one of the divisions, definitely reach out to me, and I'll give you all the information that you need. I'm a very easy person to find in the community. So
Sure. Very good. So head on over to the Discord channel, find your way over to the league sub channel. Is that right? Am I using the right jargon?
Subfolder. Let's use that. Yeah.
Yeah, and get in touch with Reg, and keep your eyes out there for announcements and updates, etc., etc. Excellent. Well, thanks for sharing, Reg. So I suppose all that's left to say before we get down to the real business at hand is, thanks ever so much.
Oh, well, thank you for having me again.
No, I wasn't thanking you for coming on, Reg. I was thanking you for your contribution to the community.
Oh, jeez. Well, of course.
Smooth.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and I know I've said this before, there's a number of us who are content creators for the game, and you kind of throw your stuff out into the void, and it strikes me that you don't tend to hear necessarily about when you're doing it right. You don't tend to hear about when people are grateful for what you're doing and how you're contributing. You only tend to hear when someone's got an issue, or they want to challenge you, or they've got some negative feedback, some critical feedback to share. So I think it's important to take that moment and say, thanks very much. Thanks for organising leagues. Thanks for the tokens. Thanks for the great videos. They're very much appreciated, if only by me.
You know what? And no, you get the feedback from people. It's nice. I mean, you hear the feedback. That's why it's such a good group we have in the online community here. There's a couple that might be negative, but you just ignore those. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if it's constructive, I understand, and that's always good feedback. But when someone complains that, I said I got complaints on the tokens, the guy sent it to me and said my stickers don't stick. Like, okay, do you want a refund? That's my answer. And and even then, still, like, people did complain. I did send out new tokens to the person. I mean, I shipped it was a package to, it was Portugal. I sent out a package to, and they were so happy to get the package back. And he said, "Oh, I wish we had more cards." And I shipped all my cards, because typically when I sent a package, I also sent whatever cards a person needed on their wish list. If I had extra cards, or I didn't have a lot of rares, but I would send anything I could to a person. And I mean, karma's been good. People have sent back many cards to me. So, and that's where, again, good karma comes back at you. So when I say, I've been good to the community's been good to me too. So, I mean, it's more of an applaud to everybody.
There you go. The Dice Masters pay it forward system.
Something like that.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you very much for that little chat there, Reg. But now it's time to get serious.
This is the real business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you're ready. Do you need some time to prepare, get in the zone, do your warm-ups, anything like that?
I'm stretching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good man.
Yeah. He's paying a fist.
Right.
So we're going to put that in now.
About now?
Hang on, give it a minute for some tension. We'll put it in now. Right, then over to you, Andy.
Okay, so the bar is 2 minutes of quick fire questions. If you know the answer, shout it out. If you don't know the answer, you can guess and I'll give you the right answer, or you can play tactical and pass and I will go on to the next question straight away. Your chosen specialist subject is the Deadpool set, which curiously you only own 6 cards for, so this should be interesting.
It should be very interesting.
And Chris will count us in, and I will start firing off the questions. Let's see how you do.
Yeah, so I'll run the timer. I'll give you a shout at 1 minute, 30 seconds and 10 seconds, Reg.
Perfect.
Okay, right. Andy, are you ready?
Ready.
Reginald, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay then, gents. On your marks, get set, go.
What affiliation are all versions of Agent Carter?
Agent Carter, Shield.
I'll allow it. What is the subtitle of the uncommon blind owl card?
Uncommon? Actually, I have that one. Stay in the Dead Hunt.
No, it's laxatives in your food. What
uncommon.
is the purchase cost of all 3 versions of Deadpool?
Deadpool is 5.
Correct. What is the keyword ability that features on 2 of the Deadpool cards?
Deadpool. Deadly.
Correct. Rare Electra, Way of the Stick. When active, your character dice with purchase cost of 2 or less cannot be targeted by what?
Global abilities.
Correct. What is the colour of the free Chimichangas dice?
Brown?
No, it's yellow. What energy type is Lady Bullseye?
Lady Bullseye. Shield.
And that's a bolt. When Common Modoc, most powerful brain alive, is active, your opponent must pay 1 energy to reroll dice and
1 minute.
Do what else?
Unless they pay 1 per die? Or they have to spin a die to a different level?
Yeah, I'll tell you that's correct. What colour are Medusa's dice?
Medusa's dice, green.
That's purple. Motorcycle Global, pay fist to do what?
Pay fist to remove blocked character.
Correct. What is the max dice for multiple man pylon?
6.
Correct. What affiliation are all versions of Scarlet Witch?
30 seconds.
Scarlet Witch is a X-Men.
Correct. Rare Storm had a tune before a tune was a thing. What is the subtitle of this card?
I don't know.
With
Lightning something.
With Super Rare X23, both players roll their dice
10 seconds.
from their prep area to give her a 2+ attack buff. Does the buff count the number of energy or the number of energy faces?
Number of energy faces.
No, it's number of energy.
Time.
Oh,
Bummer.
nice. Seems to do well. It's like slow and steady getting them through. He's totting up the
Right then.
scores.
Uh-oh.
Let's do a drum
Here we
roll.
go. Are you ready?
Did I get more than 3?
9.
Ta-da.
It's a good score, 9.
So there was one here that you passed on that I don't think Andy gave you the answer on, which was the second to last question.
So is the subtitle of Rare Storm is Extra Lightning. So you're super close.
Lightning. Yeah.
Extra lightning. So motorcycle has a global.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's a fist too, isn't it? I think it's a fist.
It is, yes, pay fist to remove target blocked character from attack zone.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's my favorite global. No.
What's character from the attack? Didn't it? Never, not once. But, see, I say this every time someone plays the bar, Reg. I'd have never got 9 in that.
No?
Not in a month of Sundays. I didn't know. Probably, maybe I could have done 4. I reckon.
I will say I guessed at probably a lot of the stuff. It was like global. I don't know, and I was like correct. I was like great. Yeah. I did. It would have helped last night because I only have like 5 or 6 packs I bought from Deadpool. So I do know one of them was Scarlet Witch. So I did know she was an X-Men, or else I would have totally said Brotherhood. So I did do a little studying, especially when I was like, oh, I picked Deadpool. Shoot.
Well, it's paid off, mate. It's paid off.
Yeah, there you go. 9. Very strong.
That doesn't
score.
put me at the bottom. That's good.
No, who is at the bottom? Oh, well, overall, in the lifetime of the bar, the bottom spot is
Chris.
me.
No. It's Chris from Chris and Rob's Game Room.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
It's phenomenal 3.
This I can't remember. We keep forgetting to update the leaderboard on the website, but who's in this year's run? It's all been very close. Lots of 9, 10, 11s, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to check. There's quite a
let's
few
go back.
10s in there.
That's it. Yeah, we'll have to go back and check.
I'll do this
We need-
week. I'll do it for the next podcast. I'll get the leaderboard up to date.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Anyway,
Well, I'm gonna go buy a gravity feed of Deadpool, and then you can have me back on.
yeah, do some revision this time round. Yeah,
Something like that. That was fun.
Yeah, it's people say that all the time. That it feels more pressurized than it might initially appear when you listen to it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm calling Kingpin on this bad boy because we need to keep some space for some other exciting content in this episode that may have already happened or may yet happen because I don't know how I'm going to edit the episode yet. So let's see. But Reg, once again, thank you so very much for joining us today. Yeah, everybody, Reg took time out. This is his lunch hour at work. He's
I'm not eating a sandwich while we're playing either. No.
Yeah, he's giving up on his sustenance in order to join us because this guy's just a giver. He's just a giver.
We take. Don't worry, I'll take. I'm just waiting to use it. I'm waiting to cash in. Don't worry.
Well, can I recommend you go and get yourself a good 2 slices of ham and cheese?
And what kind of bun was that? We always talked about that.
Yeah. Well, so I'm a fan of the toasted ham and cheese sandwich. I like a toasted. Do you have Breville's? Do you use Breville's in Canada?
Don't know what that is. Is that like a? Yeah. How about this? I'm going to clean the barbecue out because it's a gorgeous day where it's not snowing here anymore. So it's 31 Celsius here. I'm going to fix the barbecue up, and that's what's going to be tonight. It's going to be a nice barbecue.
Nice.
Oh, very good.
I hear people in the chat today talking about steak, so maybe that's a good choice.
that was me.
That's a good choice.
That was me talking about the steaks. It was a typo. It was a typo, and
That's
it just created a whole thing.
What's that steak? That's what it was. Yeah. What's that steak? And then
What's at
starts on with
stake? Yeah.
There you go.
And I think I got auto-corrected, or it could very well be a typo, but I think I got auto-corrected, and it started a whole conversation about steaks. So for Matt Jourdain's benefit, I'm kind of a medium rare sort of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be a little bloody.
Yeah, got to be a little bloody. Yeah.
That's right.
Much like Andy will be on the live stream later. Yay! But this podcast will go out after the fact, so that could very well.
You'll edit that.
We may well come back to Bite Me on the Ass, yeah. Right, okay, then let's wrap this up and move on to the next segment. Thank you, Reg.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
There we are, folks. As all things must, this episode has come to an end. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we did recording it. Yeah. This is one of those that, when we say can't always be a winner, I'd probably argue that a third of this episode, my contribution was on form, and 2/3, I was all over the place.
Well, we've got to do a little before our absolutely gobsmacking, podcast-changing, meta-breaking episode, which is to come next episode.
Wow, way to play the expectations game there, bruv.
Well, it's going to be a corker. We have got. What have we got?
That's the top 10 theme tune.
I was ad-libbing. I was in the zone.
Oh, I thought you were doing the awards music.
No, we've got to edit something in for the next episode. But let's not give away all the secrets.
Oh, yeah.
Shh. So.
Hot dog.
What was that?
I said hot dog.
Oh, hot dog. Shh. Well, this has gone down the toilet very quickly.
Yeah. Let's just call this one a dead animal and put it out of its misery. Go vote for the awards on the BritRoller6.com blog. Enter the fundraising raffle. Watch us on YouTube.
Do it now.
Send us birthday present. Tell everyone how amazing we are. All that stuff. Like and subscribe on things. Blah 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 blah.
Do not forget to join us in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. Review us somewhere as well. Why not? But probably not based on the standard of this episode.
Yeah, go and listen to one of the good ones.
Yeah, and then
early on where we prepped and stuff, and we like. This is a card called Jubilee.
Oh.
Go back and listen to the first episode, because that was a pile of shit.
Yeah, that was all over the place. You're also adding more bleeps in for me. You bugger.
What?
That was another bleep.
Sorry. I did that one on purpose.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. I've been Chris, aka Mr. Six.
I've been Andy. I've been the China in your hand.
Only I get that one. Yeah, take it easy.
You only get many of the things I say.
Yeah.
You and Teach.
Certain of it. Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye now.
Have we finished yet?
Yeah, let's finish it now.
Have we finished? Troy, have we finished?
Yeah, let's just get it done.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm tired. I might even have a coffee rather than a tea.
Thinking we should.
Yeah. Bye!
There we go.
Sounds like we might have one for the Christmas special there.